Good morning, good morning, good morning. How's everyone doing? What is going on? Give me 1 second here, chat. Let me get situated. All right. Let's go through the economic calendar really quick. So core PPI just came out pretty bullish, in my opinion, right? Actual was 0.2, forecasted was 0.3, previous was 0.1. So we have Fed Warsh speaking again today at 10 a.m. Eastern time. So keep an eye on that. But other than that, I think we're pretty much clear for the rest of the day, right? I mean, we do have earnings, but nothing much after after the PPI data. Let's see. Um, so the levels. Let me know if the music is a little loud for today. Let me know so I can adjust that. But for ES from yesterday, I don't know if you guys saw my tweet or my post on X. So I made a post, right? I said that there is a 94% chance that it's going to break yesterday's range if price opened within yesterday's range. It did open up within yesterday's range, right? And then I said if price continued to hold above 7570 to 7580, right? I don't see why price can't breach yesterday's high, which is around 7610. And in today's or in yesterday's price action, right after we got off, right, or right after I posted that, I mean that's where we basically bounced right to the T, right off of that 7570 to 7580, right? Um, Give me 1 second here. Let me get that. I know market's opening up in in less than 30 seconds, but we don't really take trades in the first 15 minutes, so we got time to kind of prep for this. Um, So the key level for today, I mean, we couldn't really break the 7610, right? It happened during the afternoon or during the overnight session. So for today's session, what are we seeing? Did we have any change in the price direction? I mean, we haven't really done anything. We're still within this range, right? You get the value area low from last week, which we continue to bounce off of, and we're starting to kind of break this supply zone here. Right, we're starting to see some momentum to the upside. Again, we still have that gap right around that 7624 from the Monday opening, or it was a Sunday open, right? We left a gap there. I think it's right around that 7625. So the key level for me today, right, to keep an eye on is this demand zone, 7570 to 7576. This is going to be my bullish bias thesis, right? As long as price is trading right above this level, I'm looking for ways to be bullish, targeting the supply zone. Right now, you're kind of inside the supply zone, right? So I'm not going to try to long inside the supply zone. I need to see some type of, bullish reaction inside here, or if we start to consolidate and we form kind of, um, a tight range, I'll look for a breakout, right, and then a retracement for me to play that upside. All right, so just keep an eye on that. Again, demand zone at 7570 to 7576, and then let's see if we can start forming a base here inside the supply, which is around 7,600, 76. Let's call it 7613, 7615. For the Nasdaq, same thing, right? Same damn story, right? I gave you guys this level in yesterday pre-market. It's just a matter of, I don't usually trade Nasdaq, but you can use it as your confluence. So with this Nasdaq, right, I talked about the pivot, right? I said in yesterday's pre-market, as long as we hold this level, look for ways to be bullish, targeting Monday's high, right, or the CPI high. And yesterday, we got that push down, and I actually used Nasdaq to confirm that ES trade, and we perfectly bounced off of that level, right around that 29,560. You're pushing right up. So for today's session, okay, keep an eye on Monday's high, right? This is where we're kind of finding support now. We bounce off of that in the afternoon session or in the Globex open. So keep an eye on that. As long as we're above this level, we're looking for ways to be bullish. Maybe target yesterday's high level, right? And then into the supply zone. Currently, we're in this supply zone right around that 30,000 to 30,100. That's where we've had multiple rejections in the last couple weeks. I do not want to initiate a long inside a supply zone unless we see some very strong bullish momentum inside that zone. All right, so keep an eye on that. Again, going to be using Nasdaq as my gauge to how how strong the momentum is for today. It's been showing relative weakness. If we can start breaking above supply zone, that's going to be my indication for me to kind of have a bullish bias in today's session, and we'll look for long opportunities. All right. Sounds good, everyone. All right, markets open. Let me get my volume profile here. We're good to go. Just don't notice NQ gap fill caught up. He still has open. Yep, it does. We're kind of closing in on it too. 7624, 7625. Some sell side order got filled there at 7618, about 300 lots. You can see here on the footprint, right? And we're kind of finding support there now. So maybe passive buyers getting filled here again. It's market has only been open in the last, for 5-6 minutes. So I don't really put a lot of emphasis on those big trades at market open, right? And if it does come, if these orders come in, I'd like to see some strong reaction, whether it's to the upside or downside, and then look for that retracement. But again, I'm starting to view this as kind of, sellers came in aggressive, right? And yet price could not break below, right? So I view that as passive buying at that level. So let's mark it, right? That's going to be our area of interest. This is kind of loud. What's everyone's plan today? Are you guys bullish, bearish? Gap has been filled on ES. Nasdaq's coming down while ES is trying to break out of the supply zone. This is another divergence, guys, that we're seeing. Another divergence that we're seeing today. Now we're seeing those buyers right at the high, right after filling that gap, and now we're pushing down. So, and on the heat map, you can see here, right? Passive sellers are starting to step in after they got filled right around this level here, right? And then this aggressive buyer right at the top. What's happening? You're starting to see passive seller again rebidding or re-offering, right? Keep an eye on that. That's one piece of information that we can use. That's kind of a bearish formation, right? You get these passive sellers here, you push up, stuck buyers at the top, right? Aggressive buyers came in, couldn't push price higher, and then now you see these re-offers, these passive sellers re-offering. That to me is a bearish price action for now. It's not something that I can initiate an entry currently. Heatmap is on Motivewave, correct. By the way, I am trading on the Lucid accounts today, the 25Ks. Just FYI. Nasdaq continue to make new lows right now. There's a lot of tutorial videos on YouTube, Pranav. Also, Motivewave, right? They posted. I think they have a tutorial video on how to set that up. So just look it up. Let me see if I can pull it up right now, actually. Hey, there's someone actually that has a post. Right here. Motivewave Heatmap setup, Bookmap style, episode 9. So there's one right. There's a lot of it on YouTube. Yeah, a little bit of a push down here now. How's the stream today, by the way, fellas? Is it still clean, clear? You guys can see the numbers. Perfect. So we're starting to see. So this is your opening right around that 7612 to 76 10, right? This is your yesterday's high and your opening price. And then overnight high is right also right at that 7615. And we're finding support there, right? Currently. But again, remember what I showed you on the heat map. I don't know what they're trying to do here. I mean, you have these stock sellers, I mean, stock buyers right at the top. You have a low volume node here between 7623 to 7622. Right? What I would like to see for a potential short here, guys, right? I want to see a pop into this, right? And we find some rejection. Aggressive sellers coming in, right? Where it can be viewed whether on the footprint or on the heat map. If we're able to identify that, I might take a short, trade here with my stop loss being above the high, targeting 76 7605 to 7600. A break below 7600, I think you'll probably come down and possibly test pre-market lows, right around that 7592. That's also where your closing price is at, 7591. So keep an eye on this one. This is the setup that I'm looking at currently. I'm gonna remove this red zone here, guys. All right, we understand what this is, and we have these market generated levels anyways. Nasdaq also have a low volume node. If you like to trade Nasdaq, keep an eye on this one, right? This is your low volume node. This is considered as a low volume node. If you're bearish, you're looking for a retracement up, right? Where this low volume node starts to act as a resistance to play to the downside. Targeting 29,800 to 29,750. News at 10 a.m. I think also Warsh is speaking at 10 a.m. This is an example of an absorption, right? Where you got those big buyers right at that level. So these are considered an absorption at that level, and you push down. That's also considered as stuck buyers, right? Stuck or trap buyers right at the high. Is actually an A plus setup, but then again, I need to see some type of retracement here. Maybe You know, an entry would have been right at the retest off of these, you know, those passive buyers that came in, right, to push that price higher, where it acted as a resistance right at this level for a quick scalp. Again, trying to be patient here. Orb has now formed. We got about 17 people watching right now, guys. Make sure you guys hit that or smash that like button and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Greatly appreciate it. Let's get to 10 likes, 10 to 15 likes. There's liquidity starting to show at 7601, about 230 lots, as you can see here on Heatmap. Let's see if that gets filled. And let's see how price react at that level once it gets filled. You shorted that? Nice. All right, be careful now, guys. Nasdaq is now approaching that 29,750 to 29,740, right? This level that I talked about. That is a price where, you know, we might see some type of bounce. So be mindful of that. All right. Aggressive sellers right at the low here on ES. Keep an eye on that. Right. You can see also on the footprint, negative 308 delta, followed by some aggressive buyers there at 3802, as you can see here in real time. Pay attention to the footprint. You see there's a negative 313 and there's 400 here, delta. So these are, we can view this as sellers, right at the low, or passive buyers, right, where aggressive buyers are also stepping in right after. If we can push away from the zone, that could also be a long entry that I'm looking at. This is what I like, right? We're getting a push up. Need to see, I think I need to see a push into the orb, right? 76.11 and 76.12, right at this level, gets rejected, and then we form a higher low. That's going to be my long entry. Aggressive buyer there, 300 lots at 76.07, 76.08. That's where VWAP is sitting at as well. Morning, Shirag. You're late to the party, sir. Keeping an eye here, guys. My finger is kind of on the trigger on this long trade. Again, based on that information that I just told you. You're also forming a low volume node here. It's something that we need to keep an eye on, right? This could also act as a resistance now. LVN. Just put the whole word. Kind of like this long setup, guys. And that could have been a confirmation as well, right? NASDAQ was right at that level that we talked about, currently getting a bounce. That's kind of like your confluence based on that absorption at the low at 76.01, followed by, you know, aggressive buyers. Let's remove this. You might have missed that long entry, fellas. We might have missed that long entry. Anyone take that? Nice, nice, nice. You're on fire today, man. Just one micro, 55. Hey, don't just, it's not just one micro. It's, remember, don't focus on the monetary gain. Focus on the setup. Focus on the process. That's why I don't like posting gains. I don't like posting dollar amount on X. I hate it. I hate it. because it doesn't really help traders. It just kind of let them FOMO in, like. As long as you saw the setup, Devon, you saw the setup, you executed on the setup, right? You followed your plan. That's a good sign. Check this out, guys, right? You got passive buyer stepped in, right? You can see it on the Bookmap as I was talking about this in real time so you guys can understand. Passive buyer right there, right? Or aggressive seller getting absorbed, and then aggressive buyer stepping in right after. Push right up, and look what's happening now, right? Same thing. You're seeing this fast aggressive seller at 7609 met with passive buyers, and then you're pushing price up. It's starting to look bullish here, right? Just based off of this information from the lows. So currently, right, buyers are in control as long as 7601 holds. Now I'm looking for ways to, to follow this move to the upside. Might be interested within this 7608 to 7610. And then my stop loss would be below 7602 to 7600. So if we can get down here around that 7608, I'm interested. Those are some sellers there. Look at the heat map, guys. Look at this time and sales. Look at those aggressive sellers there at 7612. You can see it here as well. We're continuing to find support every time there's an aggressive seller. There's a passive buyer just bidding this up. And you're getting that push. If you're still long, keep an eye here. This is where you saw those big orders, right? That came in right at this level. Keep an eye on the prior high on the NASDAQ, 29,895. That's also where your low volume node is, right? Use this as your kind of confirmation. If we start to get some rejections here, right, ES might follow. This is going to be a low volume node strategy as well. We got about 20 to 21 people watching here right now, and we have about 7 likes. Make sure you guys hit or smash that like button and subscribe. Greatly appreciate it. Can we get a pullback here? Did anyone watch that France versus Spain game yesterday? Can't believe France lost. Kind of wanted them to win. 0-2. They got spanked. Spanked hard. Yeah, it was so bad. Nasdaq is lagging. Let me see. Yeah, it's been lagging, right? It's been disconnected with ES for quite some time now. If you guys are long still on the ES, this is the level where I would trim most of the position right at this level. Right, maybe hold 1 to 2 contract, move your stop loss to break even, and go for that high a day target, final target. Again, not financial advice. That's how I would manage my position if I was in it. Ed Warsh is speaking right now currently as well. A lot of passive sellers, passive sell orders sitting between 76.20 to 76.30. A lot. Look at the heat map here. You see these blue lines here, right? You can see 90 lots, 137 lots, 100 lots, 100, like just, it's just stacked orders sitting there. Is it for sale? What's for sale for now? Here we go. We're getting that push. Those orders are getting filled. England, Spain would put a show. Kind of want to. I kind of want to see Argentina again. I want Argentina to win. Here we go, guys. Nasdaq. Keep an eye on this one. Approaching the low volume node area. That's also your prior high at 29,895. Keep an eye on this one. If that starts to reject, that could be our confirmation here for ES weakness. I'm gonna put these two here right now. I'm gonna switch back and forth into the from footprint, the Nasdaq. I want to start a poll here. Let's see. Let's create a poll. ES or Nasdaq? Let's do a poll. Which one do you guys trade more, ES or Nasdaq? ES, Nasdaq. Like you explained about Edgeful. Give me 1 second here because I'm looking for a trade here actually. Look what's happening right now in the Nasdaq. Getting that rejection right off of that low volume node. So a lot of you guys trade ES more than Nasdaq. What's going on, Barat? Heatmap is still showing a lot of passive sellers right at the top here, right? So, passive sell orders, I mean. You have there's also a big order there at 76.25. Price is starting to slow down here. That's kind of bearish there, guys. I might take an entry here, short. There's a passive. There's an aggressive buyer there at 76.21. I'm gonna take a short here, guys. Stop is gonna be kind of tight, 76.22. Right, looking for. Let's see how the 76.12 to 76.10 react. Again, very tight stop here. Very tight stop. I might get stopped right away. But I'll explain it in a little bit. I'll show you the heat map. But I'm in this short. This 76.18 needs to we need to lose that 76.18. We need to break 76.18 and just start pushing down here. And I think sellers would start coming in. But if we continue to hold that, we might get a higher day test here. Might get stopped out. You got stopped out there? I might try it again. The reason why I wanted to short that, right? So if you kind of zoom in here, aggressive buyers followed by aggressive sellers that came in, right? Aggressive buyer got filled, followed by you push down, followed by aggressive sellers. But now we're starting to get that push up here. But I'm liking, if we can push back above 76, like take out high day, and then trades back below 76.18, that's going to be my short. Right, so 76.18 to 76.16 is going to be kind of my line in the sand here. I'm going to move this. 76.16 to 76.18. Maybe the good short was the NASDAQ, right? Right off of this low volume node. Really strong buyers here now, guys. You can see. see this high a day, see if it gets broken, and then immediately trades back below. I'm gonna try this short again, guys. I'm only getting one con. I'm gonna look to add into it once we break below 76.18. I got filled at 7621, as you can see on my screen. If 7618 breaks, I'm gonna look to add into this. Need to see a strong break here. NASDAQ about to take low a day. Aggressive sellers are starting to step in here at that 76.18 level. I'm gonna risky add here. I added again. My average is 76.1875. I'm gonna put my stop at high a day. Need to see this 76.18, 76.16 break. If this bounces, we're probably gonna take high a day. Keep an eye on the 76.10 to 76.12. This area here. Aggressive sellers stepping in. Are they going to get absorbed and then push this price higher, or sellers are going to start stepping in from that after that after that big order? You're getting a little bit of a bounce here. I don't like that. I don't like that. I do not like that. Need to see some strong push below the 76.18, 76.16. NASDAQ is also bouncing off of this zone that we talked about, right? 29,750, and you're finding those aggressive sellers, right, being absorbed right there as well. But if we can break right below that, I think we can see some continued weakness here. Need to break this or else I'm gonna get out. This is also your overnight high level. You gotta break this. Here we go. Keep an eye on this 76.12. We're up about 5 points here. Need to see this level get broken with ease. 76.12 to 76.10. With ease. There you go. Up about 8 points here. You cannot bounce here. You got to put the pressure on. Keep the pressure on. Keep the pressure on. Come on, ES. Come on, sellers. Keep this pressure on. There you go. Up about 10 points here, guys. 10 points. You know the rules. Move your stop loss, take profits, whatever the case may be. I just got filled on one con right there. We're up about 15 points here now. I'm out here. Good trade. Let's go. I see some W's in the chat. I think that deserves a W and that deserves some like. How did you guys do? Did you guys take a trade? Did you guys short? Did you guys long? Did you guys take profit? What did you guys do? How's everyone doing? How is everyone doing? Done for the day? Awesome. Good stuff, guys. So that loss earlier, as you can see, right? We took the short. Again, it was a little bit of an early entry, but we were able to manage it. We were down, I think we stopped out for 5 to 7 points, if I'm not mistaken. And then this trade, I think it was 13 to 15 points, right? So make sure that if you guys are trading, right, if you guys are executing trades, make sure your plan is always, you know, a higher RR, right? You're always going for those, you know, 1 to 2, meaning you're risking 1 to make 2 points. In this case, right, this was a 1 to 2 risk reward. Let's go, Devon. Good stuff. The only thing that was concerning me, guys, was the Nasdaq, right? Because this was a potential that we started to see some sellers come in, but they were getting absorbed, right at that zone. To be honest, it could have bounced there. The only reason why I held into this trade is because of the activity that happened here and the activity that happened once we retested. Remember this setup, right? What setup is this? If anyone knows, this is an absorption setup. Absorptions, let the price go, right? Let the price make the move. Look for that retest, and that's what I did. I was looking for a retest within this zone here, right? Within this zone, assuming that these sellers will defend it, or this passive buy or aggressive sellers will defend it, but it didn't, right? Saw some buying activity, got stopped out, and then guess what? We finally got that retest, and guess what? Selling order that came in there. I mean, aggressive buyer again. What happens? Becoming trapped. And that's how I initiated the trade. Hope that made sense. Hope you guys made some money on this trade. Another setup that I'm looking at is possibly right in this zone again. Keep an eye on this zone. Another setup that we missed. Look at the Nasdaq here. Let me make it big here for you guys. What is this setup? Let's review. Right, you don't have to follow my trades. You just, I mean, if you see the setup, I talked about the setups, right? I talk about the setups. I talk about the risk. I talk about the reward. Talked about this low volume node here, right? I said, hey, let's use this as our mark, as our confirmation. If we start to reject this low volume node here on the Nasdaq, right? Look for weakness in ES and look for an entry there. I mean, I believe we got this rejection early, right? And that's also why I initiated the first short. So there was 2 setups that we saw here. If you guys trade Nasdaq, that's your low volume node strategy, and then on ES, I mean, we got that absorption. So any questions? Any concerns? Anything that you want me to explain further? In another confirmation, just want to talk about it too. Here again, another confirmation here was the heat map, right? So we tried shorting here. We were a little early. This is the reason why I shorted. Right, let me make this bigger so you guys can see. All right, this was the first initial short. Aggressive buyer followed by aggressive sellers. Could not push price lower. Price pushed up. And guess what? You got those aggressive buyer. Again, aggressive buyer followed by aggressive seller. Right? And also another confirmation was these passive seller that was sitting here, like sell orders. They just started to stack up again. This was the same setup that I talked to you guys about in the morning, right? Where we saw those big orders. These, they stacked it up, and look how what price did. Push right down. So there was multiple confirmation on this trade. Can you please make a video about how to read footprint chart? I don't know, Pranav. I don't think I have, the time for it, to be honest. It's a lot of work to create a video. I mean, this live stream is already taking a lot of my time, to be honest. I think this is enough, don't you think? Maybe in the future. Maybe in the future. I mean, there's like I said, there's also a lot of videos on YouTube that you can see, that you can search for. But I'll see if I can find some good ones that I can share with you guys. So for those of you guys that are following me on X, if you guys have an X account, feel free to share this pinned comments that I put up. Share it for everyone. If you guys want to repost that, I greatly appreciate it. Spread the word. Let's grow the community. Now, if I'm bullish here, guys, right? So we're kind of balanced, right? What? Look what we're doing right now. This is your range. So the balance trading rule applies, right? You're fading the high, meaning you're shorting the high, and you're buying the low. Unless we start breaking out. So if you're looking for longs here, right? Either you buy the low or you look for a break above the 7624 to 7626, right? Maybe get rejected inside the supply zone, right? Retest that level for the next leg up. Look for either price acceptance at this level, or like And what that looks like is if you see a breakout, right, like a peak above, and you start to consolidate here, right? Look for that. Look for buyers to kind of defend this price here, and you looking for that breakout again. All right. So don't try to chase the move to the upside, right? Thinking that this is going to break out. So look for either price acceptance where price consolidate above the price, or you look for that breakout, retest, and go. All right, sounds good, guys. I think we can be out here early. All right, we took 2 trades, 1 losing trade, 1 winning trade, but we are green for the day. If you guys don't have any other questions, I'm gonna head out here. What's the min big trades on your chart? So for ES, it's 150. So this changes, right? Based on how, how orders are getting filled. Like what's the norm? Sometimes the norm is 200 lots, right? Sometimes the norm is 100 lots. In this case, 100 is the norm, right? So then I put my big orders to 150 because I don't want to see the normal big trades or normal large orders, right? I want to see the big ones. So 150 and up. So if the normal orders are, let's say 150 to 200, then I'll move it to above 200. But it's usually right around that 150 range. And then for the Nasdaq, it's 60 to 75. I kind of adjust that from time to time, but it ranges between 60 to 65, 60 to 70. All right, guys, I'm gonna head out here. As always, you guys have a good one. Trade safe. Make sure you guys smash that like button and subscribe if you haven't done so already. But I'm out. Peace.